Right. Well, we've got stuff to deal with here. I'm just getting this started here. We will be making episodes and having fun. Lots of fun. Possibly some desert battles. Just had a... Yeah. Just getting the sound of how it changes. All right. Arno said he was first and second. All right. Well, we like the diluted dude. Okay. Hello, people over on Rumble, if you actually do exist at some point. Oh, well, let's mentioning that for those watching probably the VOD later of the live stream. Hey, I'm not only live on YouTube or Twitch, I'm also live on Twitter/X. I'm live on Rumble. I'm live on Kick, which I don't know if that's going to be a successful service either for me or for long term. I do think Rumble's going to stick around, and I do get some views and a few chats over there. So you might, if you're interested, want to check those out because YouTube doesn't always like me. And hey, you want to sort of, not just hang out with the great me, Gamer1745, but with a lot of other great people too. You could check out our Discord channel. Discord's a cool place. Sometimes we've actually streamed live to Discord only, show some of the gameplay, but as well as some other people's. And so when I say over there, you get to hang out. There are voice chat, which you can stream from a camera or stream your game there. And almost daily, there's people, because I'm, there quite often, playing games together, not just Hearts of Iron or War Thunder, but other things as well. And you can post links to videos, post photos, posts whatever in text forms as well, if you're not familiar with Discord. So you can get that app. It's free to be over there. So hey, love to see you hang out. We're a nice little community. I'd love to break 300 members on Discord. That'd just be cool. So a little plug for that before we get started with a proper episode. We're doing pretty good. Okay. That all looks good. Oh, I think we can make an episode now. Well, let me check one thing before I start digging into that. Okay, this is looking good over here. This is, yeah, looking good over here on YouTube. Oh, we have a like. Cool. 5 concurrent viewers. Hello, Holiday Punch. How you doing? I'm doing very well. All right. Okay. Let's make an episode. France has fallen. What next? Hello, everyone. This, of course, is Gamer1745 here, and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4's Black Ice. Those are important elements. We are, who was it? And I'd been saving some memes. I think it was Blackjack Pershing said either it was infantry or soldiers, I forget which, win battles, but logistics wins wars. So what we're looking at, and one of the titles, subtitles, whatever, it changes a bit at times, is the economy here. and what to produce, how to balance everything out. How is it not? I do not have, and a few people have asked. I do not have like yet. You should build civilian industry. Here civilian factories until X year, and then switch over to military, and make sure you have X or Y amount of dockyards or whatever. This is very complicated. I don't know, it may be too complicated. And I don't mean too complicated as in, hey, you're too stupid to figure this out. I don't think I'm too stupid to figure this out. What I mean too complicated is, one, for enjoyment. Okay, these games are not meant, I'll get back to some of the chat comments in a moment here, are not meant to be a chore. These games are meant to be fun. That's the game part, as opposed to simulation. Now, I'm not complaining about the economy, that it is too complicated. I'm just saying, are we, and one of the elements here we're looking at, for me, is, and I know it's a real thing, but was it really ever a decision point, a metric that decided the outcome? Was horse transport? How much of this is building these things is raising the horses? How much is making the wagons? Wagons, yes, they use some metal. Absolutely. They use a lot of wood. They take effort. I'm not suggesting they don't. But are they, yeah, I could see scraping up, half-heartedly scraping up divisions in China do not have enough wagons. Now, at least I'm picturing carts and, two-wheeled ones, and made almost entirely of wood, so that they, yes, include, everything, just sort of most everything made out of wood. And so they fall apart quicker, but, they're not maybe doing strategic movement so much on foot. And, we could look at really, some of the real lesser economies around might. But I just don't know that for all of the effort that I've put into this, is this really a production or field or whatever decision point? Now, trucks obviously are. Why? Because I could really only possibly say the U.S. was the one nation that, once it got going, was not limited in the number of motorized divisions, because we are looking at basically divisional scale game here, by how many trucks it could produce. Now, it might be limited by how many trucks it could supply. One, get the truck across the ocean, basically, because basically everywhere it's fighting has to get them across the ocean. And then spare parts and fuel for them, and deciding, hey, well, this is, infantry division is going to have, motorization, but not, because only in special cases, like the mules that were being used in Burma, the U.S. does not use in World War II. Now, leading up to it, still has a few cavalry units and still a little bit of horses around, but does not use horses. It uses motorized transport. And I do know that, I forget which infantry division, it was sort of nicknamed the circus, because the divisional commander ordered and had organized up them capturing and reusing German, and sort of rare, not German trucks, as well as German fight, some Panthers, our armored half tracks and that kind of stuff, quickly slapping big white stars on everything. Try not to be shot by your own side. And this was very much in a case of trying to motorize it more, both tactically and strategically. And by the difference, and I will get to the chat, I do see D Green up there, and what is that? Zero. Hello. I'll get to your chats. So in a moment. That tactically, in the sense of motorization, is we're moving this battalion, within a division, this battalion or company from point A to point B for, combat reasons. Strategically is we're just moving the division from, in this game, from province to province. Motorization helps both in a specific battle, as well as moving a unit from province to province. Because, if I either see a weakness in an enemy, or the enemy finds a weakness in me, having motorization to exploit or defend those events out helps you in combat. So I totally get motorization, because whether it's the Soviets, I think the most Soviet trucks, I think, though I'm sure we don't have very good numbers, are American. I mean, they make a lot of Gauze trucks, but they use a lot of Studebakers too. So hell of a lot, as in tens of thousands. So I don't know what is most. And the British still make a lot of Bedfords and others trucks too, but they use lots of American trucks as well. So it is a limiting factor on, one, how many divisions do you can you motorize, and two, with combat losses, are you do you replace, and you do lose trucks in combat, are you replacing the trucks in a current motorized unit, or are you making new ones, new units? So that is a good thing to have in the game. I'm still not sure whether like horse transport. I know they have a searchlight here for garrison equipment, but I really, really, really have a hard time trying to understand what garrison equipment is, and I'm stuck making huge amounts of it. To me, garrisons either are made up of standard units using standard equipment, or they have subunits here, in this game terms, that are their order of battle is different in the subunit, which may be just less transport. And so whether you're simulating it, the less transport here in the sense of, requiring less transport units to be made, or if there is, which I'm just looking at this, yeah. So now, and again, this is appropriate, 10 trucks for one of these. Is this for the whole? This is for the whole. Yeah, for the whole division here. 10 trucks and 20, off-road cars, if you will. Yeah, it seems about right. And just have a much slower moving, because you just don't have the logistical support. And also representing more out-of-date equipment. So I don't know if they're going too hard, but that's what we're looking at here with this series. Like I say, I wish I could be going and saying, hey, this is, you need to make this, you need to make this, and you do all this kind of stuff, and this is your metrics you need to be successful, as Germany or a particular nation. So I am far from that, but I don't know if anybody really has come up with those things, but we're taking a look at it. Now I do like a lot of what's going on. This isn't just a complaint fest, but this is what we're looking at. Right, and I'm going to look at all the chat that I've been ignoring while I've been pontificating on before we get really playing. Need to get back into this mod, trying to learn it. Okay, Holiday Punch. The war goes both well and frustratingly. We can talk about that. And yes, hello, Zero. Black Eye certainly goes overboard, diving into minutiae of various components of divisions and game mechanics with so many levels and details. For good or for bad, management is hard. Yes, and again, I do want something more detailed and a bit more management detailed, if you will, or whatever, than your standard version of Hearts of Iron. So yes, it is good, but is it just going too far? And bouncing up. Hello, ZZ. How you doing, my friend? And Gustav Devlich. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Yesterday on some of that, around 400 Soviet trucks and 250,000. Oh, very good. 250,000 Studebaker trucks. Studebaker carried 50% more cargo and weight, more reliable. Oh, I'm sure it's more reliable. So yes, so if you're carrying 50% more cargo, it's not double the cargo, but okay, so even with that, you're still not getting to the same logistical movement as the 400K, and thank you for the details. Is probably mostly Gaz trucks, G-A-Z. You're getting to be more like around 350,000. So you're almost doing for logistical as much carrying weight as the Soviets. Now, so that is almost in a practical sense, because they may have also sent Dodge and Ford trucks as well. So I don't know how much. There is a tendency within Lend-Lease to send certain types of models to certain destinations, both in the sense of not complicating their logistical maintenance, but also in sort of what's left over out of America's needs. Are you going to fight in Africa? Well, hello, Nico Mason. That's where we're going to be looking at and somewhat deciding right now. Yes, Arno saying hello to all. Garrett used to outfit units that are in the game to cover. Yes, they are. Without proper garrison stockpiles, these hidden divisions take much higher attrition rates and constantly, and you lose the war because of it. Yes. You use, and I'm still not sure, and I know people said you don't, but, and I'm not talking about compliance, I'm talking about resistance. I'm still not sure whether garrison units on the map affect, I know people said they don't since La Resistance, don't affect the resistance. I'm not talking about compliance, but it does seem to me, I haven't tested it out, it does seem to me that having some units on the map seems to help, but I am not sure of this. What I do know is, and so these units from a combat standpoint were never meant to be anything significant. What they are meant to be, and we can look at these, which are a different, slightly different garrison unit, are meant to be somewhat like here bluffs against the AI, because I don't know that the AI really knows how strong these are or how weak they are. I think it has an idea. But we're also going to be stationing a lot of these along ports. That's part of the reason I'm building them. Should probably build better, but I am looking at that. And so that, hey Ragnar, how you doing? Over on Twitch. Years ago, players didn't like shifting actual units around to manage resistance, but just decided to. Yes, and the main view here is here, and well, which is really going to mess with my because do we need 400 or 100? Let's look at the Grandwatch art. No, okay, Grandwatch or suppression division. 93 or 109 and 100 512 versus 552. Because the suppression division is what I created, which is just sort of a minimal. So I think, as opposed for Belgium right now as an infantry division, this infantry division, production cost per suppression, manpower. Use default infantry division. So yeah, I think for the suppression division hardness, I think we will do better with this, and we will need 15. That's what, right? Okay. And let's also do this. I know this is going to gut, and this is part of. Now here right now, the only thing we are dealing with is out here. French Republic. I don't think we're occupying any of the actual French Republic, are we? Oh well, I guess this is considering here. Yeah. So we need massive amounts of crop that I don't know when the hell we're gonna make enough of. Looks like, well, we're okay. Well, we'll get to what's frustrating me. Hello, Battle Droid. How you doing? What grain mechanic is it? Supply it. We now, or what's been here is what you see the grain mechanic. I don't know if anybody in chat has got. They don't. You're saying D green. Well, okay, then if they don't, they don't. I still want to use them as bluff divisions, and I'll get rid of the interior. Is food. They have added food, which, and we can look here, civilian consumption, core population, non-core, how much military consumption, armed forces, garrisons, and training. So this is a national food stockpile situation. So we do have that. That's what that right, industry rework. Right. Okay. So green has got that. Okay. So I lost twice as Italy. Last time Spain has won by the commies and become commie. UK decided to put trade unions into government. France became commie. An alliance without Germany. Germany decided instead Now, was that with Black Ice or just Hearts of Iron? And were you playing with historical options checked, Rhaegar? I would be interested to know the historical options and whether that's Black Ice or just standard. According to your division layout, you need 104 garrison unit division just to hold Poland with civilian oversight. You might try adjusting the divisions also. Yeah, you know my question, but is there any way how? Well, it's gonna be a while still to get to tank. I'm using an old backup version of before Paradox decided okay, when you had enough XP, you could just click and say, yeah, okay, yes. Okay, France, like Fallujah, about 3 months, yes. Certainly want to cover ports against landings by the Allies because F the Allies. Right. Yeah, and so part of covering the ports from the Allies, I do believe, is literally just having a unit there and the AI sees unit and doesn't invade. We're going to put 3 right up along there. So we're covering the ports here before the AIs really get the AI really gets a chance to invade. Yeah, let's put 1 out here. This is a tough call. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough call as to whether you just decide to have the Channel Islands is non-occupiable, whether that should be best or not. Get you there via trains. We want you there this century. Get to Nantes. Get to La Rochelle. And we'll get to the front. Why I'm frustrated with the victory here, and we'll get to there. All right. So those are moving. What are we doing along this coast here? There, let's move you to Antwerp. I know these units won't fight as much as anything, but still somewhat useful, I would say. Well, send 1 more out to Brest. I think we already have 1 coming out there. Original before and I attacked Turkey early. Yeah. Yeah, earlier it was. Yes, and thanks, Arno, if people would. And give the stream thumbs up over on YouTube. It does help. Okay. So that's going well. Now, my frustrating bit is this. And I was actually looking at this last night before going to bed and trying to figure out where we were going and with the, forward. And I know, and I got used to with Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice, which I still love. Just being able to declare war against Yugoslavia and push down into Greece, because Greece was normally aligned with it, and the Italians are here now. The Italians stupidly attacked Greece in this game. Now, fair enough, historically they stupidly attacked Greece. Now, I had someone post that, well, it was the Greek Navy that kept the Italians from doing any naval landings. The Greek Navy really hardly existed, people, in 1940. Or it just really did. It was a few destroyers, maybe a couple of cruisers that were pathetic. The between the Italian Air Force and the Italian Navy could easily cover screen. The only thing you had to, the only thing that would limit the invasions, naval invasions of Greece, would be the Royal Navy. But where really stupidly I say in this is Italy attacks Greece before the French were defeated in the formation of Vichy France. Yes, I do know that there is a vestigial France here that's may exist. I don't know of Free France, but in an exile. So Italy would not have added Greece to the fight while they were still fighting in France. Now, maybe 5 days after the fighting is finished in France, then declare war. So the national focus or whatever on the Italian tree needs to have a check for, because not everything should be by dates. Some things are done by dates, but things should also have, and they do have, this, and this is where Balkan dominance does not have enemies in the Balkans. Now, is Greece in the Balkans? Yeah, it is, just sort of barely, as opposed to being a Mediterranean country. Is Turkey in the Balkans? Well, the European side of Turkey, I would sort of say, is in the Balkans. But, so where do you draw these lines? And so I can't do Balkans dominance right now. So that is part of what is frustrating here is the focus tree. Should you does not have enemies? Okay, that seems reasonable. Seems okay. Should I have done this earlier? Maybe much earlier before going to even war with anybody? Quite possibly, but I was doing other national focuses. Yes, you're not supposed to be able to do all of the national focuses, or you're supposed to have to delay some. But now if you want to force me to delay some of these, which they did, and have things like is at war, which you can see is checked here, that's fine. Other ones, okay. So I'm a little frustrated, not massively, but a little frustrated over not being able to push into here. So let's see. Hello, Sophia Panagaku. How you doing? RAF was protecting Greek ships, the RAF. Yes, I'm sure they were, but there was somewhere between none and very minor RAF in Greece on the day that Italy declares war against Greece and attacks. Okay? So you could have landing forces. I was going to say divisions, but I don't know. You can have landing forces out at sea, set them up here out at sea just prior to the declaration of war, and within the first 12 to 24 hours be landing, say, here at Olympia. And then the RAF, and particularly in Greece, is not a, yes, the RAF still is not really using, at night at this time, but particularly in Greece, is not using radar for, like they were in, and we're talking again 1940, 1941, in night operations. Yes, they have, chain home and whatnot, radar, ground-based radar, but they don't have aircraft-based radar. Now, if you don't know, by 44, the British and the Americans were running aircraft out here at night with radar, picking up subs. Now, subs, have a smaller radar signature. The radar on the aircraft wasn't very long range, and then of course they also have night fighters, night interceptors and whatnot going on. But yeah, in 1944 or some date like that, the RAF and the Americans really could have strike groups picking up, transports running at night, coming, resupplying and offloading and attacking effectively at night, but not here. Now, I don't know that you want to do initial naval landings at night. That would probably just be utter chaos, and the Greeks could just sit there and drink their ouzo and laugh at the Italians, bumping into each other and sinking themselves on a night invasion. But once you're there and once you've secured things up, because the Italians were running night, resupply into ports in North Africa, they could have readily done that here. So the RAF at night, and the RAF, where is it going to be? It's not going to be, and I don't know the strength, but I know they're still fighting in North Africa. They're still trying to protect Malta and other things like this. They're not going to have RAF everywhere. RAF over frontline combat operations. Once they get up here, they're not going to have RAF protecting their resupply operations, as well as having enough to do that. It's just not enough everywhere. All right. Okay. See, at least 24 Greece is important resources of some industry. Italy just invaded Greece because they look like an easy target. Absolutely, Holiday Punch. And hello, MNDB. Okay, so we are currently doing Western knowledge, which does limit what we can't do. And I'm not entirely against the idea of national focus tree here. It's just, again, conditions. So do we want to next do Operation Weserbrung? I'm sure I'm butchering that. Or do we leave the Scandinavians alone? It's January 1941. Plenty of time to shift our forces to the east to be ready for even a spring invasion of the Soviet Union, whatever our version of Barbarossa would be. Or do we move down into North Africa? Now we can see here the British have taken Tripoli with naval invasions, and the Greeks, it looks like they're okay-ish over here, but only ish, and they've got cut off here. So, and they control Tripoli, unlike in real life. So they are they're not. I'm not saying there's zero danger of forces being cut off from supply, and because we see these guys out in the desert not doing well, but they're not. It isn't, lost. North Africa isn't lost now. So yes, I'm sure they, Sophia, that they sent a few planes to the RAF, but not enough to stop a proper planned invasion. That's what I'm talking about. A proper planned invasion. It was just Italy effing up badly. Or do we try to do it all at once? Well, I don't, whether I've built enough forces, and we can see here, there are a bunch of historically available, including refit of some of these units. I don't think I am ready to do it all. go north, go east, go south. So the realities of this situation, I think we're going to work to secure the Mediterranean. I don't know if that includes getting Gibraltar, but it definitely includes trying to. These guys here are going to, I presume, because they were over here when the peace broke out, and these are Vichy, so I think they're going to head back and deal with things here. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to secure the British, truly take Cairo and whatnot. So that's what we're going to look at doing that, as well as getting ready to visit my friends up in Norway. And hello, Darth Jar Jar. I have no idea how to play for and don't even have it. Well, maybe you'll still be an interesting to watch, or if you can watch some old War Thunder footage or something. I don't know. So, Sea Lion. Now, for multiple reasons, I tend to ignore the possibility of Sea Lion. I do not have any airborne divisions. I do not have any significant. I think I have like 14, air transports. I'll say this, and I could be entirely wrong, and some of it can be me in that I didn't build enough military ICs, but I don't think they're enough to. I don't think there is enough to build Germany's historical military. Okay. Whatever garrison equipment is, and again, I'm still not sure, and I don't know, what is garrison equipment different than infantry equipment? Yeah, they both use uniforms, I presume. I mean, they wear clothing. They would both have now maybe more support equipment for a garrison or more for a non-garrison unit than a garrison unit. Just because priorities and get your support equipment to it. More radios they're up here for a standard division than a garrison unit. Certainly. There would be even after leftover, and I would say that there was larger than in this game capturing of equipment, because Germany recaptures large, as in like 50,000. Not that I don't know what each one of these equipment, whether they equate, are we only really, I don't think this is meant to be only really 117 rifles a day. I think it's meant to be like 1,017 rifles a day, or 1,170 rifles a day, or whatever it is. But they recaptured tens of thousands at different points of German World War I rifles from, places like Belgium, France, Yugoslavia, that had been given to them at those nations as war reparations. That much of it had just been stored away, including thousands of MG08s and other stuff. So I'm still because this is garrison equipment in parentheses Gewehr 98. Yes, well, Germany also still had many tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Gewehr 98s in storage, and they were used for garrison equipment. So again, but what I'm looking at is I'm not producing enough aircraft. I don't think I'm anywhere near the historical levels of aircraft. Definitely don't have enough transport aircraft, and I don't know the numbers, but I'm just sure that I don't have enough air transport to meet the historical level, and definitely not enough air transport for me to be comfortable with doing a airborne invasion. And I'm not saying it's purely an airborne invasion, but I mean dropping a division or two, even if I had a paratrooper division or two, and then maybe, you know, air supplying it while doing a naval invasion. So I'm just basically did not plan for it, and I'm operating under the presumption that there's enough, and there may not be, because maybe the British have moved everything to the Mediterranean or something. This may be entirely empty space. If I just showed up with, you know, these crappy units, I could walk all over it, maybe, but I'm presuming I don't. Like to watch one of the, okay, you like to watch it, don't know how to play it, don't have the mind for logistics. Oh, I understand it. Germany never would have pulled off Sea Lion at best. Air Superior would have helped daylight hours. Yeah. Any gun better than no gun. Oh, absolutely. And for garrison units, you know, any World War II manufactured basic rifle is an acceptable rifle. Okay, do we have Romulus? I guess we don't. Okay, Rommel, I guess, doesn't have it. All right, well, okay, Guderian. Let's get all of Guderian's units. What we're going to do... Okay. Command decision time making. Dietl is going to get his 5 divisions, put them on trains, and move them down here. So that means we are delaying going north. We're going to come to Guderian. And we're going to send Guderian down here with armor. I think, oh, let's look. We got a lot of French trucks. They did get lots of French trucks. But I'm still not ready, I don't think, to upgrade some of my divisions. So I think what we're going to do here is, we really like von Manstein, at least I do, but we're going to give this over to them. And since they're all, going to put them on trucks. I think we're going to move them down to Marsala down here. I think we're going to get across to Tunis and just push this way instead of getting into this mess. I don't have compatible ammo for that rifle, then another rifle type just straight. Okay, absolutely right, Ragar, but 2 things. We're talking about garrison units, and so we're talking about garrison units in France. Well, France has huge stockpiles of French ammunition. Okay, 1. And 2, what are they going to use ammunition for? Seriously, we're talking garrisons. You got your, you know, your Mas 36 rifle. Let's just say it's a, instead of the old Lebel, you know, an 8mm. You got the Mas 36 and 7.5mm rifle. You got, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna have ammo pouches with ammo in them, and you're gonna march around. You're gonna, you know, right shoulder, left shoulder, port arms, stand around. You're going to periodically put the bayonet on and go stand around out in front of some, unfortunate person's house while they go in and arrest him, keeping the crowd back. And maybe once in a while you're guarding a bridge and some partisans are going to come up and go maybe with their Sten guns go because they want to blow the bridge up, and you're going to go bang, bang. And so yeah, you got your ammo pouches full, and when they're empty, they're empty. But they would be empty anyways when they're empty. And if you have a box of ammo at whatever bunker for guarding the bridge or something maybe, but you're just playing dress up soldier. You're garrisoning. You're not fighting on the front line. Now, yeah, if the Allied landing shows up, whether it's in Norway and the Netherlands or down in France or someplace like that, and yeah, okay, you're gonna, we're the nasty Nazis, and so you're gonna do firing squad duty. Well, you can dig up. I know it's a logistic. Sure, you can dig up. So that it really doesn't matter that much. It matters, yes, but it doesn't matter that much. It matters a bit. I want to get a Lebel from my collection. Well, cool, Dart Jar. That would be cool. I wouldn't mind having one of those. I have a Savoie bayonet that is not serial number matching the different parts to it, but it's a French Savoie, about a 1.5 foot long. Pre-World War, I think goes back to like the Graz rifle or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what it went on. Yeah, I got one of those. Bayonet. Don't have that. So, yeah, it does, but you can just simply organize up better horses here. Now, we have Rudolph von Thoma. Oh, maybe we're going to keep him in charge there. But, yeah, I think we will move you also down to Italy. I'm not sure where for sure just yet, but we can send you down here. Now, I'm going to use motorized primarily, motorized and armored forces. Yeah, we have a few of these infantry divisions. For North Africa, so we're not putting too many units and overstressing with the supply situation too much with large forces. We also have this division. Okay, we're going to yes, well, this is yeah, yeah. What's your order of battle here? Not that great. Is that in? No, that's the 60th. Okay. Yeah, let's select you. We'll get you down into Deedle's unit here soon. I can show you. I think it's more of, well, yeah, research here. Tanks. It is 1942. If we started now, it would be just under a year to get it. Where if we wait another 6 months to the year, we'll get it a lot fast. We'll get almost the same speed. So 42 really is the year for the Tigers. Right. Okay, so we're going to finally start letting the clock go as there are sort of remainder British units. We'll get to the Tigers. I want Tigers too. Let's move some of these divisions that are not yet organized into fours. Move them here. And no, I have not moved the SS division south. Mostly just for historical reasons, in that they definitely fought in Greece, but not in North Africa, so I don't know if we need them there. Now for production here, new howitzers. Let's. Yeah, we'll improve our HE-111s. We're keeping these because they. Okay, medium artillery. Okay. Go update equipment. I think I could. Oh, I didn't do that. I keep clicking the wrong spot. I want to look at the stats for the unit, or for the equipment, not the unit. I sort of know what I'm talking about. No, it's going to be. Oh. I guess click over here. I guess just hover over it. Okay. So, production cost for this is 5.7. IC cost and is it how many days it takes to make that? I don't know. And this is the thing. German artillery got cheaper to manufacture as the war went on. But it's more better, gamer. Yeah. Well, not all, and historically was not always well, I don't know. Because hey, Starstreak, how are you doing down there? I see you're getting some more, I don't know, Southern Hemispherish. I almost used the A word with g'day, but yes, good day. More better, gamer. So it should cost more. Well, soft attack 12, hard attack 0.6, soft attack 10.5, hard attack 0.52. Right, okay. What makes an art, and I know this sounds like a big complaint session here, but I'm pointing out the realities of the situation. What makes an artillery piece more better than the previous model? Well, you know, the only thing that's really an artillery piece is really only dangerous to is the crew that's using it. Quite honestly, I'm sure there are a few cases, but realistically, I don't think an artillery piece, a German artillery piece, killed an American soldier. I'm sure there may be one or two cases, but I don't think a German artillery piece killed an American soldier. A German rifle, I'm sure, killed a bunch of American soldiers. They took that rifle and bashed them over the head with it. What are the Germans doing? Getting an artillery piece up to the top of the hill and going, push! And it rolls down and it smashes into an American truck or something? No. It's the little thingy that comes out of the artillery piece, the artillery shell or round or however you want to say it. That is what hurts American soldiers or Soviets or whoever. The artillery piece doesn't, okay? The artillery piece is just a big lump of metal. And even if you're firing it, maybe, an American was charging it with his bayonet and they fire it and the blast comes, not the round that come out of it, but the muzzle blast hurts some American soldier, but probably not. Okay, so we've now determined that an artillery piece is not at all dangerous on the battlefield to the enemy. Again, the projectile coming out of it is extremely dangerous for those of you who are not paying attention, but the hunk of metal itself is not a dangerous thing. A tank, yeah, it can roll over the top of you. Kill that too. But the artillery piece is not a dangerous thing. So why is one artillery piece more better than another? Well, these 105 guns, basically, there was one change that did, not all 105s out there are the same. Meaning sometimes you could either have more powder, we'll call it, behind the round that'll shoot it further, or you can have, the different types of rounds, fragmentary, high explosive or fragmentary or whatever. But you can also simply have a longer projectile that coming out of it. So different nations, 105. It's not like the 18th century where you can stick any cannonball down any other cannon so long as it's not too big to fit down. Because you could put a smaller cannonball, it just wouldn't be very accurate depending on how you're shooting it. But you need the appropriate chambered round for it. But for the sake of this argument, we're talking about the same set of projectiles. Okay. And they did change a bit over the time. But how does, again, for a German one, how does one of these more better than another? Well, one of the big things going during the war is making it more simple to manufacture. So less cost to manufacture. 2, making it lighter weight so that you can move it from point A to point B quicker, faster, so that you're not, or with fewer troops or with lighter trucks. So your one gun can be in 3 different places in one day or whatever, so it's, get repositioned around. So it is more mobile. But that is about it. You're not really changing much in the 105 field. So, you may be between artillery types are moving to, and possibly things like artillery sights, how accurate, you're aiming, because at least when we're talking German artillery, the tube, and the rifling of it are all going to be pretty equal, at least out of the factory in quality. And yeah, we can talk about, different rounds between, 150 millimeter and 100. Well, this is down here. Okay, this is 110, but I guess just longer barrel or whatever. And the Mauser mortar for this, so yeah, between this thing here and that, because this, you can see this down here. The way this is designed to be worked is the wheels roll it in, and then you crank something here, and this pedestal goes down. So the impact here is not being taken on these tires like it is here. It's being taken on the pedestal here, and then the trail back here. So, but this is 121 millimeter, different sort of field piece here. So, and this is like a World War I to that. But yeah, so there are, and now between this and this is probably more costly, because this, if looking at it, I think a lot of its recoil is just in the wheels, and that it I don't know if this cannon breech even moves in it. I'm not, because this looks like a World War I German, and a lot of the or maybe all, I don't know if the term all is correct. When they fired, they would, roll back on the wheels and then be re-put to the position, but maybe they got to where they were. Depends on the type. The French 75 was the first mass-produced, not the first like prototype, but the first mass-produced artillery piece that effectively didn't move when you fired it. Yeah, it went inched back a little bit, but it was called the Fast 75 because you go boom, chink, boom, chink, boom, chink, boom, chink, almost that fast, because each time it fired, it had a recoil system, pneumatic air recoil system in the cannon that absorbed the movement, where like this, and like this may have a pneumatic one down here below, I don't know. It would fire, and it would need to be rolled back into if you were going to fire at the same position, need to be rolled back forward, because it was doing so much of its recoil between each shot. So it was had to be doing that. Oh, you're gonna need to buy a new PC soon. Yes, for a desktop. Yeah, I prefer desktop too. Rhaegar Starstreak has moved continents, and I don't believe he took his desktop computer when he moved continents. So he has to buy a new PC to have a PC, because he doesn't have a PC now, is what I think is the case. Not going to give away any more details than that. He's free to give away the other things. So more detail as he wishes. When can you get the 88 millimeter gun? Well, I think we already have the 88 millimeter gun. Germany did. I don't know if we do. Look like here, Viva la France. Yes, I visualize I need more bootlets guy. Yeah, so he's PC-less now. He switched continents. Okay, let's see for okay, yeah, we have the Flak 18/36 right now. Heavy anti-air. Or no, so we have that. Right. So so I am not going to upgrade my artillery. I'm not upgrading my light vehicles because, again, they do improve, but they also get more expensive, and I want them cheap. I'm not going to upgrade my medium artillery because I know the answer. I don't know the details, but I know where. Okay, where? Well, no, do we actually have enough? I thought we were... Oh, I guess from somewhere we've got enough old artillery. We have just barely enough, so we're not right now looking to do more. Well, thank you for mentioning submarines, Arno. Yes, thank you. And yes, we are still playing the game while I'm blathering. No, I want to come here. Two things I want to do, and I did look at this last night. Okay, right. What we want to do is we're going to have them to Lorient. No, yeah, I think we can, even though, so we'd like to get them into the Mediterranean or other places. I'm still keeping, I think, just one production line of coastal submarines. Coastal submarines, from at least a game playing standpoint, are still useful. Okay, so I wanted to do that. And so Arno is doing good. We're going to come here. Yeah, all submarines as it is, and we're going to create a fleet there. We're going to select this fleet, and we're going to tell them to come. Well, we'll send them to Brest. So they should come up all the way around to here. So we're going to get our submarines out here. We don't have a whole lot. We do have some out here operating. Took out a convoy. Took out 2 South African convoys. We lost a sub here. So we are sending out, it looks like we lost a sub there. So we are losing a few. We're sending more out there. We lost a convoy here. Okay. Well, the AI, in its infinite wisdom, is thinking that we should supply this. I really wish there was a manual, and if for some reason they put one in and I didn't know, a manual being able to manually do the supply convoys. I wish there was. So we're going to say avoid this. So hopefully it'll turn that off. I mean, the submarine, because I gave them orders to come to here, so the ones that are coming here will avoid here because they don't have to come through here, but they got to come through here to here. I at least like that I can turn off sea sectors, but I wish I could. I would happily manually be able to route things. And oh, you mean the anti-tank? Well, okay. So the dual purpose, Arno, that we looked at, anti-tank 88. Well, that's 43 is the earliest we're practically going to get the anti-tank towed pure. Well, like I say, he moved continents, and the I suggested he pull out the components, wrap them up safely, and put them in his luggage, but he basically moved continents with just his luggage, is my understanding, and there was considerable expense to moving anything more in his continental shift of movement. Okay, we're not going to do over here, but for the next national focus, we have decided to move south for the moment to deal with Greece with our mountain troops. I know we could invade Norway, Denmark with just regular. But it is January, and I don't know if winter is going to be the best time to go north. So Operation Sea Lion, yeah, we're doing that for right now. Send economic assistance to Italy. I think now might be a good time. Oh, it's 56 days. Oh, God. We're sending you military assistance in the sense that we're sending forces down there. 35. I think we're going to reintegrate Alsace-Lorraine and Luxembourg fully. And that is what happened historically. But my understanding here is local resources, because of our current settings, is negative and negative. Well, I mean, taking off so that we're getting like 2% industrial factors between non-core and other problems. And over here in Luxembourg, lots of steel, lots of this, bit more compliance here and whatnot. This, I think, will handle that and will significantly boost. Now, another thing I wanted to do, I did notice last night, and I haven't done it yet with all my blathering. Oh, I hope it's entertaining for those live and later on. We have 16,000 radio equipments. Okay, that's good. We want to keep going with that because we want more and more radios. What's taking up our factory so much? Is it just the start of this? I don't know. Or not. Okay, where's radios? It's here. It's up here somewhere. Okay, let's do that. That will put some more factories into other things that we need as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm probably more sentimental with my stuff, and if I could have at all possibility, I would have probably taken more. Okay, so now at least depending upon, and what I do want to do, okay, what we're going to come here now. First one, oh, I mean, that's just, look, have I said it enough? Do you all know? I hate the state mechanic. You know, you have a single state or single province state down in Gibraltar. Just make every province a single state. I want to put my radar out here. I don't want to put it back here. I want to put my radar out on the edge of Calais. Yes, I know I can do it so that, you know, more and more and more radar happens, you know, levels, so that it gets bigger and bigger picture. But let's do that. Ooh, we got 10 convoys. Very good. Okay, Holiday Punch is back. Very good. 2 convoys there. We did lose 3 convoys and 1 convoy again in stupid AI deciding to send. Okay, well, at least we sort of got, and now we can do more levels. That's we had been researching. I knew we had been. Okay. Well, this helps radar construction speed, so we'll do that too. We'll get this going. Well, we are currently moving south. Okay, so we are here. You join Deedle's force. Deedle. Yep. They're there. Deedle's force goes to there. Oh, we need to manage air power. Okay, you guys back here. Well, I think we're going to first move. We're going to come over here, and we're going to come up over here. We're going to cover there, and we're going to bring these guys down from central Germany down to here. They're going to come up over here. Okay, let's come back to here and let's, no. We're going to stop that until I get better. Those guys were meant to be interceptors. We're going to send them down here, and we're going to put them up here to better cover down into there. And we're going to come over here and get some Stukas. And they're going to come down here. They're going to... No bombing operations there. You guys are going to come down here. And we're going to give tactical bombing operations there. I did not use much of this Air Force because I did not contest the battlefield over, or the air battlefield over Low Countries in France, so we're going to go to anti-shipping operations. So I just sort of let it all go, and my ground forces did well enough. But now we have, I hope, a decent chance. To effectively use them to help in the Mediterranean here. Hey, Singh, how you doing, my friend? Invading from... Okay, no, I don't think they're invading from Vichy. You may have seen some British units that had been in that part of France when Vichy was formed. Oh, here you're talking about. Oh, thank you. Yeah, those again are remnant forces. They'll die fast. They have no supply. But thank you. I hadn't noticed that. Thank you. Thank you. And hello, Zahar. 1904. How you doing? No, I do not read Cyrillic, so if you want me to read it live, about to cut cake. Ah, happy birthday, Sing. Happy birthday. Everyone wish Sing happy birthday over on YouTube. So, now that we're down here, we've got a bunch of planes going after ships. We got aircraft covering those operations, that battle. I'm going to now hope that we get to here without losing any ships or... And yes, I see Arno over on Rumble. Okay, so we've got... Not all these divisions are equal. I guess it was just... They're at least mountain divisions. I'm hoping this isn't too much for the Italians to supply. Joint industrial policy with... Huh? Mutawakitai Kingdom? What the hell? Okay. I can't ever say that I've ever heard of this place. I'm thinking, is it something here? Muslim Sultan? No. Is that somewhere in India, Sing? I don't. That. I don't know where that is. I literally don't know where that is. It's Oman. Okay, Toyjet, thank you. Okay, this is Oman. Okay. Well, don't know why that's popping up, but whatever. Improved gasoline engines, very nice. Thank you, Toyjet. You have a very good grasp of geography then, because I had never heard of it and didn't have a clue that it was even in the Arabian Peninsula area. Mm-hmm. Amounts. F2 turret. Well, yeah, let's do that. And did that open up for us any new tank types or sub versions of tanks? You know, like Dugs or something. No. Smoke dischargers. Maybe I should have been researching smoke dischargers. Well, we'll see about that. And I thought I was pretty damn good about geography. Well, let's see about switching out. Moving down here. The Flight of Rudolph Hess. Deputy Fuhrer. Well, I think we're going to end this episode. Not the live stream. Don't worry, everyone live. Just hang loose. We're going to keep going. But I think this is a good point. Been talking a lot, playing some. I'm going to talk here a bit. So come back next time. We can talk a little bit about Rudolph Hess. Very interesting. Evil, yes, but still interesting fellow. And also, so I want to thank everyone, particularly Tim, Strongarm, Niagara, Timothy, Sir Toyjet. 2 of those people are in chat. Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and of course the great Hoffmanator for support over on Patreon. I do appreciate that they have supported me over there. But everyone, you know, all I ask is lick the like button if you're new around here, subscribe, and hey, post a comment. It really helps either in the live chat or later on. I really do appreciate that. See you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of Iron. Okay, guys, we're going to just continue rolling here and making more episodes. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing look at Hearts of Iron 4's Black Ice. And so we're going to keep moving right along here. The flight of Rudolph Hess. Okay, Deputy Führer Rudolph Hess was arrested by Home Guards soldiers in Scotland yesterday after parachuting from a heavy fighter, basically a BF-110 or whatever, Messerschmitt 110. An accomplished pilot, he apparently flew alone across the North Sea, taking care to stay out of radar range before veering west towards Britain. Hess appears to have taken upon himself to negotiate the peace treaty between Britain and Germany, although Berlin denounced him as a madman. He has been stripped of all his political offices. British authorities have not been available for comment. This is one of the most interesting events in history that I know it makes the newspaper headlines pretty big in Britain, but I don't think it's properly historically appreciated in the World War II context. Who was Rudolph Hess? Now, we talked a little bit about this last Sunday during our War Thunder stream, which got demonetized, by the way. I've not argued, tried to get it remonetized, but it did get demonetized. Our debate or our discussion, I guess discussion would be better. We were talking about the National Socialist regime and things. I don't know specifically. I wish they would give me a time code so that, this is what we found to be a problem for advertisers, which also means, we're not going to promote your video or your stream up as much as we might. Now, I've not had a directly yellow badge of sadness demonetization in probably a year. So I'm not sure what it was, or it thought it was, that got it demonetized, but so we are going to talk about this subject here anyways, because I do think it is important. Rudolph, as far as I know, and that's because some of this is still shrouded in mystery, Rudolph Hess was a member of the Thule Society, or the Thule Gesellschaft, or Gemeinschaft, Thule Gemeinschaft, or whatever it's called in German. And I won't go into right here its predecessors, but suffice it to say, it was an esoteric society. This society is reasonably clear as they are members of this society. In essence, this society creates the German Workers' Party in Bavaria, known as the DAP. Hitler is sent to spy / just, I don't know how much a spy to me, and when you use that term, is that they are to go in to infiltrate into like an organization secretly and get information about it. I don't know if that was the plan, or if it was just the plan that Hitler was to go to public meetings, and because he did supposedly go, I think, to some other meetings of other parties, public meetings, and report back to the German army what's up with these organizations. Were they communist? Were they right wing? Were they pro-German nationalism, anti-German nationalism, whatever. I don't know. But Hitler is sent to the DAP, and he joins the DAP. Well, Rudolph Hess is also a founding member of the DAP. There's like Anton Drexler, some other people. I'm blanking on names right now. I'm not good on remembering some of the early names in the DAP that are around. Okay, so Rudolph Hess, who is not born in Germany. He is born in Alexandria, Egypt. Two German parents that were living, I don't right offhand know what they were doing. I presume some sort of business thing, but they were living in Alexandria, Egypt. So his very early years was growing up in Egypt. So Rudolph Hess, yes, he's there before Hitler. Publicly, to the German public, he is extremely well known and very well liked. I don't know if beloved would be the right term, but in virtually all major I say virtually because I don't have the detailed records right in front of me. I don't know if I presume somebody has, but most of the Hitler speaking engagements, especially the major ones, the ones that are like radio broadcasts, not maybe every little, because Hitler at different campaigning times, he would go give a quick speech over at some, church and say one set of bullshit, and then go to some German workers meeting thing. And this I'm talking like in, 1930 or 1932 or, one of the election campaigning, go talk to some other German workers and say another set of bullshit, often contradicting himself. These sometimes were reported in anti-Hitler newspapers, but I guess for Hitler and the Nazis, and probably most people read the newspapers that agreed with their viewpoints, not others. So, I'm seeing this here. This should not be happening, so we're going to do that. Keep them from being sunk. So he, running around. Politicians used to do this a lot more before the internet because you wouldn't necessarily get called on your hit. And then Hitler would probably, go to some industrialist and say a different set of bullshit, go to the church and maybe throw in the word Christian, but we're going to protect your traditional values. Go to the workers. We're going to protect workers' rights or pay and blah. Go to the industrialists. We're going to make sure you guys get to make all kinds of money, and, sometimes literally contradict himself, other times just sort of shade it in there. So so I'm not saying in every little speech, but all the major ones, Hess would come out and do the warm-up speech. He would come out and speak before Hitler. So he was extremely well known with that, and extremely well liked because of that. Now, he was, and at this leading before deputy party Führer, meaning deputy leader, and then deputy leader under Hitler in Germany as a state function after the death of Hindenburg. When Hindenburg is still alive, he is president of Germany. Hitler is chancellor, and below him is Franz von Papen as vice chancellor. Vice chancellor is a job that is mostly not there. I think there was one other time that there was a vice chancellorship during the Weimar period, but it's not like in the United States as always, like there's always a vice president. It's sometimes there's a vice chancellor. He's made vice chancellor under Hitler. They thought with a president and a vice chancellor of the same party, not of Hitler's, they could control the Nazis. That didn't work out. But So, and Hess is just deputy party leader. Well, after Hindenburg dies, Hitler restructures the government, gets rid of a bunch of the cabinet members who are not Nazis. Not all of them. Konstantin von Roth stays around for quite some time into the National Socialist, into 36 and later, and a few others that do stay around in the government, including Helmar Schacht, who's also not a Nazi. He's complicit in Nazi regime, but he is not a Nazi. So there's a restructuring. And with that restructuring, Hess is made deputy Führer of Germany. So he's the number 2 guy. Meaning if one of these many assassination attempts on Hitler's life, happens, and Rudolph Hess is not killed in it, Rudolph Hess would be the next leader of Germany. Well, wouldn't you know it, Hitler starts a world war. So there's now a war going on. And then, wouldn't you know it, Germany defeats France. There's another restructuring of the government at that time that is often overlooked. Goering, who has been for some time Reich Air Marshal, meaning head of the Luftwaffe. Well, after the fall of France, there is a awards ceremony in which a large number of field marshals are made. Some of some Navy and Luftwaffe, are made, like other sort of promotions. But Goering is made Reich Marshal. So in 1940 something, after sometime relatively shortly after the fall of France, Goering is made Reich Marshal, not Reich Air Marshal, not Field Marshal, Reich Marshal, which in essence means national military leader. It's still under Hitler. There's still the oath to Hitler. Hitler's still number 1, but he is sort of the old Bloomberg type position, the old under the old Kaiserreich and under the Weimar regime, the army was not subordinate to either one of those, was not subordinate to civil authority. And by that I mean either under the Kaiser, which was definitely military head, and the president, which is definitely military head now, popularly elected, yes. Turns out most of the time it's a, general or former military general of Weimar. You have below either the Kaiser or the president, you have directly below him chancellor, and directly below, also below the president or Kaiser, the head of the military. And it sort of changes at different times and whatnot. So where, like in the United States or in Britain, well, let's look at Britain for the moment. In Britain, you have the king, because it's sort of similar. You have the king, and then below the king, you have the prime minister. And then below the prime minister, you have, foreign secretary and secretary of war. So it's part of the civil administration of the government. And then, of course, the militaries in Britain, the Navy, the Army, the RAF, are, under the ministry of the, under the Minister of War. Now, it is generally presumed in, say, America or Britain that you might have a former career officer. Often you generally, for your Secretary of Defense in America, or during World War II, Secretary of War. Generally, they've had some military experience, but most of a lot, if not, a very large percentage of, senators and whatever did go into the military, but they weren't career. They weren't there for, 20 years. They did their 4 or 6 years or whatever as an officer, and then they were out. And maybe futzed around as inactive reserves or something for a time, but they're in and they're out. Well, for the German head of this ministry is either an active duty military person or someone who has had a long career in the military. And for Germany, it's the Army and not the Navy or whatever. So it's really a separate establishment. You didn't need ministerial approval for like in the United States, the president appoints all the officers. Okay, you get, but they're at certain level or all levels, they're confirmed by the Senate. There's not that sort of confirming by the legislature prior to this. I know this is probably more in the weeds than most people want to get, sorry. But this is not how it's reorganized as far as I know, and looking at the organizational charts that I've seen, both in German that I think are from the period as well as later. It now goes Hitler, Goering, and then now over to the civil government deputy leader Hess. So Hess has gone from the number 2 to the number 3 position that's basically sidelined. Basically, now, also, and I was saying, Hess is very popular in Germany with the people. He, though, is not very popular or universally popular in the party, because Hess has been the guy who has been settling disputes between different party officials, as they argue over things, different branches of the party. And the party is being integrated into it. Okay, Sophia, thanks for hanging out. Do appreciate it. You can come back next week. I hope I don't recognize your name, so I hope you've subscribed. And of course, watch the videos on YouTube. So thank you so much for being here. Have a good day or evening, as it may be for you. Where was, so he is sort of the enforcer within the party organizations, dispute between the SA and the sort of NSDAP proper, or a dispute between the Hitler Youth and the the DAF, the Deutsches Arbeitersfront, or the German Workers' Party, the National Socialist Union. He's the one that's sort of being the settler of disputes. Yes, at times, if you had enough influence, you might be appeal up to Hitler, but normally it's Hess has been doing this. Well, all of these jobs that Hess has been doing is becoming unimportant or irrelevant or not happening anymore, because there's a war on now. The party is still functioning. The party is still around, but he's no longer, yes, Hess is a military veteran, but he is not seen as a military leader. And that is why Goering is put in place. Goering is seen as a military leader. So if, Hitler is worried that if he is killed, and Hitler does worry about these things, that if he is killed, the army, who has had and this is sort of why I gave some of the background, has had a tradition of being independent from the rest of the German state, that the army may take upon itself to not pay attention to the succession of the Nazi Party leadership, because they don't have an oath to obey Hess or anybody else. but he feels that Goering is a good National Socialist, including ideologically. I think he was. And the army will follow his orders. So he sees this as a succession plan. Is if he's gone, it's going to Goering. Okay. So is Hess a madman? Meaning acting detached from reality? I don't think so. Now, late in his time at Spandau prison, yeah, he probably is mad by that point. He's been in prison a good chunk of his life. But at this point, no, I don't think so. Now, remember, I mentioned he was part of the esoteric society that creates National Socialism. National Socialism is an esoteric religion at its core. Now, do all the party members that joined up because they like Hitler's speech, or all the SA dudes that wanted to go around and beat other people up, are they believe all the esoteric stuff, or any of the esoteric stuff? Not necessarily. It isn't. It is not, as far as I can tell, because again, I don't read German, I don't read all this stuff, but as far as I can tell, it is not generally organized up like the Communist Party with a bunch of people running around giving out communist doctrine to everybody. There is not a core of people running around Germany giving out esoteric Nazi beliefs to the general population. Now, there is definitely that going on in the SS. And again, to sort of illustrate this, at one point, at one of the meetings down in Italy that Hitler goes down and meets with Mussolini, Mussolini asks how does he deal with the church up in, because Mussolini at different times during his career has had major disputes with the Catholic Church. How do you deal with the church up in Germany? And Hitler makes a remark, I don't have any Christians around me. So anybody in the inner circle of Hitler is specifically not Christian. Hitler does not. I'm not saying you can't visit, because one of the non-inner circle, but one of the main functionaries in the National Socialist plans has been Franz von Papen, a devout Catholic. There initially to control Hitler, doesn't end up controlling Hitler, gets moved out of the government posts after Hindenburg dies. And I think it's 1935, so Hindenburg dies in, 34, I believe. In 35, he is sent as special envoy down to Austria with the goal of bringing Austria into union with Germany, Anschluss. Because he is well-known, well-liked, diplomatic, and all of that, and he's a Catholic. Austria is a Catholic German nation. He's down there to charm them. And then after that's done, he's sort of looking for a job, and then Hitler sends him down to, Ankara or whatever, down to Turkey to be the special envoy to Turkey to try to get Turkey into the alliance. And eventually Franz von Papen decides this is all nuts and starts ignoring Hitler, and including ignoring orders to come home to Germany later in the war. So, but Franz von Papen is never a member of the inner circle, again, as far as I can tell. Sure, he has meetings with Hitler because, at various stages, he's around, but he is not part of the inner circle. So Hitler does not allow any Christians to be around him. So it is more of a movement. The esoteric parts of National Socialism are much more of an inner circle. I mean, you give out blood and soil speeches and whatnot that have very esoteric backgrounds, but it's not out there trying to convert the population at whole for its esoteric beliefs. Well, Preishofer, father and son, are the astrologers, etc., to Hess. There's both a campaign against astrologers, arresting and putting into camps that people concentrate on things, against astrologers, but there's also approved astrologers too. So it's sort of like they go after the ones that are not in compliance or in agreement with their sort of National Socialist religious values. It's sort of the other astrologers that get locked up. Well, the Preishofer and crew give astrological advice to Rudolph Hess. And Rudolph Hess is seeing his power and his mission diminished. And again, you got to realize Hess, I really think he was set up to be Hitler's handler for the esoteric group, but I think he sort of defects from them into being a Hitler loyalist, because Hess, the putsch in 1924, the Munich beer hall putsch that fails. Hess is arrested along with Hitler. Hess is convicted along with Hitler. Hess goes into Landsberg prison along with Hitler. Now, the Nazis are given sort of a wing or a group of cells that are all right next to each other, and to my knowledge, don't get locked in between each other. The sort of wing is locked, but they can visit each other's cells as much as they like. And Hess spends, he is the person that takes the dictation. Hitler does not write Mein Kampf. He dictates it to Hess. Well, Hess is like, hey, dude, yeah, you've been, you can get out on good behavior. Hess goes, no, thanks, I'll stay in prison. And he stays in prison until Hitler leaves. Because he is devoted to Hitler and he's taking down Mein Kampf. Mein Kampf is basically written while Hitler is in prison. And so this tells you sort of the devotion to Hitler. And so he is no longer, he feels that he's losing Hitler's trust, Hitler's approval, Hitler's whatever. So between the esoteric influences and the pushing aside, he decides to go meet with the Duke of Hamilton. The Duke of Hamilton was a known member of the Right Club or Right Circle, or maybe they use both terms, which is a esoteric group that is concerned about the future of Britain. They are not the same group of people and don't necessarily agree with or like Mosley and the BFU, or no, BUF, British Union of Fascists. I always say that one backwards for some reason. I don't know. But they're known to be, the Right Circle is known to be anti-Semitic, very anti-communist. I don't know that they would match up with National Socialists, either entirely the esoteric or the political beliefs, but they are, vehemently against the communists and liberalism. Not that they're so anti-liberalism as a belief system, but believe that liberalism is weakening the society and allowing communists and socialists to take over, all this blah, 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 blah. So he thinks the Duke of Hamilton is a friend and an ally. Well, unlike Mosley and the other fascists, he's not locked up at all. They're investigated. The circle's sort of broken up. Some of them are locked up. But Duke of Hamilton is not. He is a proud Briton and, never, like Germany in the sense that Germany wasn't going communist, but wasn't, some sort of real fifth columnist kind of thing that there. Now, talk about that. And I don't know why they put this damn French airplane, just because they don't get a good plane here. So here's how it happens. And I know I'm going on long about this, but fascinating thing is probably going to be a special on Hess. And I know I've talked about this before. So he's the deputy party leader. He is, I think, maybe has some semi-official or official position within the Luftwaffe, but it's not unusual for him to fly around. He's like it says, an accomplished or known pilot. So he shows up at an airport, and he's doing all this without any organization, without any pre-organization, because he doesn't want any, within the National Socialist regime, doesn't want any word of this to come out. He shows up at the airport. He tells them to fuel up a Bf 110 that he can fly by himself. So he is some air base somewhere. I don't know exactly where. And they do that. And he takes off. Okay, so he takes off at night. Remember, Germany is in blackout. Britain is in blackout. There ain't nobody, having any lights shown because of the bombings. So he takes off. And so in complete and utter darkness, meaning you can't really see coastline or water, but he does fly over water. Now, it does say, where does it say? He apparently flew alone across the North Sea, taking care to stay out of radar range before veering west towards Britain. Yes. And so instead of trying to come up and, you might sort of kind of see some, depending on the weather, you might see the moon reflecting off a river or whatever. Or instead of trying to fly along the coastline, you might be able to tell the difference between sea and coastline. He does fly out here. And then he flies, because he knows the Duke of Hamilton has an estate. I think it's over in this part of Scotland, but it's in the lowlands down here in Scotland. He knows that the Duke of Hamilton has, a big, great country house and a large estate. So that he flies out here and he gets, navigates at night. I see, again, he's evil, and this isn't me fanboying over him as I like him, but I'm fascinated by this. He's flying out at night, coming out, and he flies out, and he navigates himself alone instead of having a navigator sitting in the back seat. He's navigating alone up there, and to the point that he gets up over Britain. He unhooks his seatbelt. He still has the parachute on. He unhooks his seatbelt, and he rolls the airplane upside down to fall out of it. That's the easiest way to get out of, as opposed to trying to climb out on the wing and jump or some crazy shit like that. Because the airplane's going to fly weird. So he rolls out, and he parachutes out, so he's falling out upside down until he gets right around enough, and he pulls the parachute, and he gets down, and he lands. And he lands either on or very close to the Duke of Hamilton's estate. So it's not just, oh, hey, he made it to Britain out of radar range, or, oh, hey, he's in the countryside. No, he get at night with, again, everything's in blackout. And I do believe this part up here is blackout, but even if it isn't fully in blackout, still, it's not going to be a big, huge landmark. And he gets out. Now, he speaks English. I don't know how well he speaks English because, again, he was raised where for part of his childhood? Alexandria, Egypt, which is, in essence, a British colony. I don't know if he speaks much Arabic. I don't know. And so he falls out of the sky, and his plane flies on and crashes somewhere. Well, the way he's captured is he approaches in just a flight suit, I think, with no visible, markings on it. No big swastikas or anything. And he asks directions to the Duke of Hamilton's, home. But he's near enough. And he doesn't have a local Scottish accent. And people are worried about paratroopers and fifth columnists and all this stuff. So, the guy with his pitchfork holds him up until he can get the police to show up. And they show up and they find out, yes, it's it. They figured out pretty quick. It's Rudolph Hess. And Rudolph Hess thinks that he's going to get in amongst all, a bunch of loyal Scottish clan members of the Duke of Hamilton or something, and they're going to secret him to his estates, and then send word if he wasn't there to get up there and then negotiate, because Duke of Hamilton's friendly to Germany, he thinks, and negotiates a settlement to become more relevant again within the National Socialist regime and bring peace. And then, of course, he gets moved down to the Tower of London for a while, and then off to somewhere else, and just sort of basically kept alone, not thrown in with a bunch of the other captured generals or others later on. And yeah, so that's Rudolph Hess. I think the next time he gets to see a bunch of his fellow Nazis is during the Nuremberg trials. So yeah, that is Rudolph Hess. The short version of Rudolph Hess' life. I know it's maybe long for this video, but that is who Hess was. That's why I find it fascinating. Okay, let's clear all of these out. And hello, Eric. How you doing? Well, I think we will end this here and keep this as a special on Rudolph Hess. And so come back next time for more Hearts of Iron Black Ice. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm going to go grab a Coke, and I'll be right back. Thank you, Starstreak. I hope everyone does enjoy that. I'll be right back in just a moment, and we will continue this for at least 1 or 2 more episodes here. Give you a nice picture to look at. I need a Coke to keep drinking, or keep speaking, I should say. Not drinking. Well, that too, but. Almost back. Kind of wonder what his chances of victory. Don't know exactly. Hey, ZZ. Yeah, my chances of victory? Or Hess? I'm not sure with your comment there, Ragar. Okay. Right. Well, let's make another episode here. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and we are playing, of course, Hearts of Iron 4's Black Ice, and we're playing as Germany, and we've conquered France, and we are going to do a little bit of, though I will probably later on do an episode, or not an episode, but and probably I should also organize some of this in as a it's not. I do hate the way this works. I like the old counters. We'll move it to the actual port. Okay, invade the USSR. That's what I'm looking like. MMDB. I'm looking at getting the Mediterranean secure in 41 here. And doing that. UK didn't want peace. Hitler would likely annul most of the surrender. Oh. Yeah, we were just talking about Hess. Well, I would disagree about the UK didn't want peace. Churchill doesn't want peace. Halifax is going behind Churchill's back and trying to get peace with Hitler at one point. So, there are elements that see the war as unwinnable, I would say. Okay. That's how I would interpret it. There are elements that see the war as unwinnable. So it's let's see if I go in here, if I battle the if I can kill the British here. So Hitler wants peace. Hitler even I presume it's before Rudolph Hess. I'm not absolutely sure on the dates, but Hitler even makes a speech after the fall of France that is definitely a can't we all just get along kind of speech, directed towards Britain. So Hitler would like peace with Britain. Now, you're right in the sense that Hitler isn't going to surrender Germany. I do believe. I don't know if there's any real period written source. A Goebbels diary that Hitler said X or Y or whatever. So I don't know. There may be, but I just don't know of it. And God, there's, I do claim to know a lot about World War II, but I know there's a shit ton more than I know about. I know a lot, but there's still a lot I don't know. Probably more that I don't know than I do. So don't take this as that I'm any sort of know-it-all on World War II. I know a lot. And I learn things from you guys all the time and reading all the time and whatnot. Hitler, as we're doing the national focus here to reintegrate Luxembourg and Alsace-Lorraine, Hitler isn't going to give up what Germany lost in World War I here, because this had been part of Germany prior to World War I. So he isn't going to give up everything. I think he would have accepted a withdrawal probably from Paris, withdrawal from maybe have a line like here that would still be sort of like there was in the Rhineland, an occupation zone, but make much of this out here as being a demilitarized zone. no fortifications, no army divisions. Paris, as an effect, keeps being an open city. But I think he would have withdrawn from France. I don't know if he would withdraw from the Low Countries here, but maybe. I think he would have, and maybe withdrawn from Norway, maybe Denmark. I don't know. I think he would have withdrawn from a lot. Again, it would have to be demilitarized, no British, blah, 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 or no French troops. I really think he would have given up a lot of the territories. Because, again, and I know this is supposed to meant to, we invaded France, like July or August. Hello, Kevin. 7234. How you doing? I forget exactly, but it was late 40 is when we invaded France. Because we took a while to get pulling, but there are, I don't know, competing elements, and Hitler likes competing elements. But there are competing elements within the National Socialist regime. You got on one extreme, you have Himmler. Himmler wants to have the Germans as being the overlords of the non-Germans, and those that are almost equal to the Germans being the other Aryans. I mean, they're not quite as good as the Germans. And again, if YouTube is listening, I disagree with 17th July painter. The painter gave his speech. Okay, thanks MMDB. I'm terrible on dates and whatnot. So that would be before this time period, because then when Hess flew. So Hitler does want peace. And Himmler is one, Himmler and Quisling of Norway hate each other. Because Quisling is an ultra-Norwegian nationalist, or maybe, I don't know his writings, he may be an ultra-Scandinavian nationalist. I don't know what he thinks about Sweden and Denmark, but definitely an Norwegian nationalist. And I don't know his Quisling well enough to know whether he was more of a fascist or more of a national socialist, and they're different. But we see non-German organizations sometimes calling themselves fascists when they're more national socialists, but more often if they call themselves national socialists when they're really fascists. Because again, there's other belief systems going on there. Again, I don't know Quisling. Was he a staunch Christian or an anti-Christian? That would sort of tell me some of his belief systems. I just don't know Quisling well enough. But Quisling wants to have his Norwegian party militia, uniformed guys with, guns and whatnot. But Himmler moves in and sets up the Norwegian SS. And Himmler sees this as part of the Germanification of Norway, and not just to get your recruits for the Waffen-SS, but this is actually a local SS stuff that then recruits into the Waffen-SS. Meaning when you join the Norge SS, you're staying in Norway. And it may be a part-time, because maybe you work in a factory, maybe you're a local, collaborator, administrator, but you're also in the SS. Now they go around and hand out and promote. Hey, join the Waffen-SS. Join the one of the SS Division Nord, which is a conglomeration of German and Scandinavian units and whatnot. Join this other, So then they do recruit most of the recruits, at least as far as I know, right offhand. Most of the recruits come into the Norge SS and then the Waffen-SS, as opposed to showing up day one into the Waffen-SS. You can do that, but a lot of them, move step by step. So Himmler's a pan-Europeanist or a pan-Aryanist. Hitler is an exclusivist. Hitler really wants the Germans to be exclusive of others. You know, again, Himmler is seeing in the East German, lords and squires that, SS guys that have estates and then have these other people working them for them. And, that the Germans are this overlord class over the, whoever the under people are. Again, I don't want to mention certain names to get this even more. Partially because of the late invasion of France. Kevin, is why we didn't invade. And we have not yet completed the Weserbung national focus, and I've sent Dietl's mountain divisions down to Greece and fight in Greece. So and it's winter now. So, I mean, all of those reasons why we have not invaded the north yet. So I don't, so Himmler and some of the Nazis, they want to control places like the Netherlands because they're Aryan and they need to be incorporated into the Reich and whatnot. And then you get Hitler, he's going like, yeah, they're not that German. We just want to be Germans. We want to clear the people out of these lands and then just have German peasants living, not being overlorded by, some ruling class, but more just German peasants living, not next to, as neighbors to, or interacting with other peoples, but just exclusively German. So Hitler's much more of a German exclusivist. Now, he doesn't want hostile regimes or armies on his border, I'm sure, but he's more willing to, I think, to give up territory for peace. Not German territory as he sees it, but other territories for peace. Not Poland, because he needs to go east, but give up, occupied France and some of these other things. So I think, a good chunk of the reason why Hess is locked up in the Tower of London and whatnot is so he doesn't talk to Lord Halifax and others and maybe get a plan that somebody in the British government could go public with and go, hey, Germany will give us peace and will withdraw from France and withdraw this. Yeah, redrawing the borders of France, but withdrawing from Paris and withdrawing from this and blah, 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 blah for peace. No. Again, we have to look through not our eyes looking back, but their eyes at the time. Britain's alone. Okay. Oh, they got Greece as an ally. Well, and historically, of course, Norway and Denmark have been conquered. Vichy France is fighting the British. The British demand the French fleet, and the French fleet doesn't come out, so Britain sinks the French fleet, killing hundreds of French sailors, and then France, with American-made bombers that they had gotten prior to the fall of France, but they were unassembled at the time, the fall of France. By this time they've assembled them, and they fly, I think, coming from North Africa. They fly and they bomb Gibraltar. The French do, because in retaliation for sinking the French fleet. So not at war, but fighting each other. The Vichy French and the British are fighting each other. Sort of tit for tat attacks. So Britain's alone. The Soviets aren't in the war. The Americans aren't in the war. This war could be lost. Britain could starve because the U-boats, the hundreds and hundreds of U-boats, there weren't. But again, the public perception there might be, because no one knows the exact totals. Germany isn't telling people, and we're doing that we're going to send you convoy raiding out to the mid-Atlantic. Go all the way out there. So, this is a desperate time for Britain. And so I will contend that if it looked sweet enough, you might get the British public to agree to a peace terms. Not Churchill. You're going to have to, vote in Parliament and no confidence vote and, get him out of office. But, which could be done, and the king could just dismiss him. Either way, the king appoints him. The Parliament does sort of, yay and vote for it, but it's really the king's appointment. So either the king could dismiss him, or the Parliament, could do a no confidence vote. So yeah, I think the difficulty from Hitler's viewpoint, that Hess has done this without approval and whatnot, so he has to denounce it. And I think it's a major embarrassment for Hitler. But had it resulted in a, and I'm sure because Hess has, and I've talked about this a lot, the power structure of Nazi Germany can have a very, and does have a very German hierarchical table of organization that is crazy looking. Standard German stuff, all kinds of, gears and gizmos, like most German over-engineering. They've over-engineered the power structure, when it's all kinds of crazy lines between different leadership offices and responsibilities and all this other stuff. But in a practical sense, your access to Hitler, at least at the top level, your access to Hitler is your how much power you have, whatever it may say on the organizational chart. And up until Hess's flight, too many H's. Up until Hess's flight, Hess has complete access, meaning he can walk by Martin Bormann's desk, or whoever, Trudy, whatever her name was, or whoever's, and walk into Hitler unless he's in some sort of private meeting at any time. If Hitler's having dinner, Hess can walk into the dining room, even if there isn't a place, set for him. He can walk in and pull up a chair and sit down. Now, there might not be food ready available for him, but he can sit down to the table, because Hitler, generally speaking, eats dinner in the company of others. So a small group of people every night that he's eating dinner. So it's not like he's barging in alone or alone with him and Eva Braun or something. He's just, walking into, dinner. And a fair number of times, somebody is invited, like Franz von Papen or something might be invited to dinner that night. But the real inner circle can just walk in and say hi, and so I think he may, I presume, I just don't know right offhand, but at Berchtesgaden, Hess may have had his own home, his own specific home. But either way, I'm sure he could just drive up to the gate to Berchtesgaden and wave, and hi, I'm Himmler. Or no, sorry, I'm Hess, and the SS guards will just salute and let him go through. They won't even do you have an appointment, sir? He'll just be in. So, I'm sure he has a good grasp of what Hitler would accept as peace terms with Britain. And so, at least in his mind, I'm sure he does have that grasp. Whether it's accurate or not would be another question. But like I say, I think it's probably pretty good. And he presumably thinks that he can negotiate something that, Blondie the dog, yes, probably knows him well and probably comes up and gets treats from Hess. So, yeah, it's that sort of a thing. And so it's more of the British problem, I would say, than a German problem. And hello, Extreme Finger, or otherwise known as Jan. Okay, so let's take a look at naval. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. We have anti-shipping, or, well, before I put those things on, because I'm seeing some, okay, well, first, I'm over here. Let's see what we have. Do we want flying boats? We've got 25 flying boats. Well, we have 111 naval bombers, so we're going to do naval bombers. I do believe, generally speaking, and generally may be the right term, generally speaking, flying boats have better discovery, finding enemy fleets, and naval bombers have at least better surface. Well, that's so good to know. Everyone, Extreme Finger is feeling very fresh today now. So before I move forces here, because I do see some British submarines out here that are being attacked by some Italian, or no, looks like they're attacking some Italian convoys. The convoys are being supported by German Air Force Luftwaffe elements against the submarines, and I didn't want some of my tank divisions to be sunk at sea. Army Group HQ improvements, very nice. Well, very good. MMDB has just made some coffee, so he's going to have coffee. Okay, initiative, organization, but, well, applied grace. I like less organization loss when moving and slightly faster division thing, so we're going to research that. The Italians lost 4 transports there. Still deploying. Well, let's also, let me come over here. Let's also create a flying boat unit. I know it'll be under strength, but we'll do that as well. Okay, you guys support. Yeah, do that attack. You guys attack there. You guys attack there. You guys help that attack. That has lost 2 more transports. Still deploying, so these guys will still be deploying. And so, generally speaking, which I think is good historically, having things like these bombers. Well, let's see if we can find some tactical bombers. That might, is in Stukas. Yeah, there we are. Okay, that might help too. You guys come down here and do naval attacking. These guys do have naval attacking values that can be useful. Road network, good. But if you really want to do an air campaign, get some of the naval bombers or flying boats involved. At least that's my advice. it's good to it's fine or good to have other um, other bombers, whether close air support or any other bombers. It does help. We can maybe even look here. Naval targeting and naval attacks. 6.7 for naval attack, and we can come up here and let's take a look at naval attack 13 and targeted 9. So it's much better at going after naval units. Let me get down here. So having some additional forces is very nice. Where did that come from? Our Air Force is attacking in the Navy, but it is really good. Let's look over here. Okay. No, that's external fuel tanks. Armor, tank advance, Goodson. Okay, I'm looking for 3 years ahead of time. Smoke discharge. That's what we're looking for. That was one of the requirements for some of the stuff. I know it's a 44 technology, but Germany has a bonus there. Well, I got a question. Why didn't they were always producing naval bombers? Well, they were producing naval bombers. They just were never the priority. Okay, you get... For so many reasons, the National Socialist regime was a fucked up place. One of the greatest myths that was created by Star Trek, I forget the name of the episode, but where in one episode, they say the greatest organized regime or whatever in history was the national, they use other words, but I'm using this to try not to be too demonetized. The National Socialists of Germany. It's where one Starfleet guy who's supposed to more be observing some culture decides to go in and try to create good Nazis kind of thing, but they turn evil or whatever anyways. If you're a Star Trek fan, a true Star Trek fan, you know which episode. And if oh boy, again I'm blanking on names. I just Admiral Teague was here watching. He could link with chat, please. Thank you. Hello, Alf Kamen here. How you doing? What is the global mode used for you? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Well, it was over-organized and inefficient. But yeah, it was all those kinds of things. And you remember earlier when I was saying your closeness to Hitler is your actual sort of power ranking, rating, whatever, within the National Socialist regime. And it's very true. Hitler likes competition. Hitler, one of the major difference between fascism and National Socialism is fascism wants to be a planned economy. They want to figure out that roughly you need let's say for a country the size of Italy, 1 million pairs of shoes a year. Okay. So they want to have factories, have one factory make 500,000 ladies' shoes a year, because presumably they're going to, and obviously ladies need a lot more shoes than men, but that's a different story. But another 500,000 made for men's shoes, basic, and for the working people, fascism very much wants to make all the working people well off. Not rich, but not poor either. And they want to, planned economies. So you don't, sure, this is Italy. Sure, you're going to have some fancy high-end shoemakers that exist, and that's fine within the National Socialist regime. But they don't want competition. They don't want wastage in something like basic shoes, for work, for whatever, for farmers' boots, for whatever. But you get the idea. And so they want to plan out how many, again, how many like workers' boots, for farmers if they're different than factory, basic stuff. And so then, okay, and then so then they, okay, well, what's the price of leather going to be? So they want to set. They're willing to have a little bit of price fluctuation within fascism. Again, I'm not the best expert on going into the details of what fascist, and there's different authors even within Italy's fascist regime, as well as fascists in other countries that have varying viewpoints. But I'm just giving you a general idea. They want to have, they don't want to have a shortage of shoes. They don't want to have a glut of shoes. They don't want shoes to be too expensive, so they want to make sure there's enough leather going for leather shoes, all this stuff. They want to plan out this economy like the communists do. The fascism, yes, comes out a little bit more out of syndicalism than communism comes out of Marxism. They're both a socialist-based viewpoint. But so that's the idea with fascism. Plan it all out, centrally organized. Hitler is a socialist, particularly as he is an anti-capitalist, but he is also a socialist that wants competition. So he wants to be able to set, like they do, a minimum wage kind of thing. And he likes the idea of having everybody, all workers, but we can talk about that, which is that have a representative in the boardroom, again, like socialists do. So when the boardroom or the decision making comes up in a major, whether it's a particular, a factory, in Leipzig, or the big company that has, that owns 10 factories in 10 different cities, at whatever level, there's a member of the DAF, the Nazi labor union, in essence, is going to be there. You're going to be in the meeting. Now, he doesn't necessarily have control. He very much, and things change over time, but he is not like a commissar in the Soviet Union that's really sort of in charge. The National Socialists are much more of because they never fully get in charge. I mean, that's we can say that. And the fascists never fully get in charge in Italy, but even less fully in charge. So they have a lot of influence. Now, so the DAF guy isn't telling the owner of the company what to do. The DAF guy can sort of, if something sounds bad for his viewpoint, because sometimes he's a corrupt official himself, and if you bribe him, it's okay, whatever's okay. He can then go and do a public shaming campaign, but they're not going to strike. He can go in and complain to the party bosses. He can go in and complain to people. See, he has influence, but he doesn't have control like you do in the like commissars or whatever in the Soviet Union. So, but he's in there. He has influence. He's not in control as a practical matter. He's there. So, so there's like minimum wages. And so you can't, so the point is you can't exploit the worker in the sense that you can't underpay him. You can't have his working conditions too miserable, because Germany is very much, National Socialist Germany is very much worried about the environment, both the sort of natural world environment and the environment in which people live in, their housing and where they work. So, it's clean enough. It isn't like a bunch of poisonous fumes, as, because they do in public government sort of public buildings, they ban smoking. Not in private offices or homes or out on the street, but in public. So they're worried about, the air quality for workers, because otherwise they wouldn't be banning smoking in public buildings, because it's worrying about other people being affected by the smoke. And they're also worried about like safety issues, make sure that, they don't want workers to die or be maimed. And so that there's a lot of that going on. So Hitler sees the exploitation of capitalism, well, we're going to pay the worker as minimum as possible. And if somebody is willing to work for a penny less an hour, we're going to hire him over somebody else. And if somebody else is willing to work for a dime less an hour, we'll hire that person. And, just constantly try to drive down labor costs, or look for the cheapest possible, if we're talking about shoes, cheapest possible source for leather. Whether that, oh, hey, you mean we can get leather for half the price buying it from Argentina or some other, foreign place that is making a lot of leather because they have lots of cattle down there? Yeah, we'll buy that instead of buying German-made leather. No, Hitler wants them to buy German leather because it supports German farmers. Now, if you need more shoes than Germany is currently producing in enough leather, because they also have belts and other things, well, okay, yeah, you can import leather. It's not, and they have foreign exchange problems, but that's a different issue. But ideologically, yeah, you can import leather so long as, it's all good. You're using as much leather as Germany can import. So he wants that, and he wants shoe companies to compete with each other, because if somebody can build a better shoe, great, because instead of having it planned out, he wants the competition. And I know shoes may sound ridiculous here, as opposed to, say, development of motor vehicles, who can build an engine that runs better or whatever. But so you might not be designing shoes that are better than other shoes or something, but you might be, because modern shoes are in some ways better than older shoes, shoes of the 30s. Some ways older shoes of the 30s may be better too, but we can just, running shoes, modern shoes would be better. So he wants that competition in companies to make a better shoe or whatever it is. So he wants that. He wants a certain level of market competition, a certain level of manufacturing competition. But he doesn't want the quote-unquote exploitation of capitalism. But he is not a centrally planned economy person of a fascist or communist. Okay. Now, one area that, again, there's competing power structures within National Socialist Germany, and as I talked in earlier episodes, who has become Reich Marshal? Who has the greater access? Some Großadmiral, either Raider or later Donitz, who are not part of the inner circle, who don't hang out at Berchtesgaden, who don't hang out at the Wolf's Lair, who aren't intimates of Hitler, who don't show up and have dinner with Hitler once or twice a week. Who those guys are? Goering. Goering has the power. So Goering makes it virtually, we can talk about a few exceptions, but virtually anything that flies belongs to the Luftwaffe. Okay, this also, hey, Beam Slam, this is all going, oh, hey, Lum, see you there, goes back to why didn't they make more naval bombers? And I know this is a long way to get there, but it explains it. And there's two big reasons. So Goering is in charge of anything that flies. So the Navy cannot have any naval bombers. Only the Luftwaffe. Right? So, because anything that flies. So this is why the Graf Zeppelin aircraft carrier is never completed. Is because the Navy goes, what? You mean we can build an aircraft carrier? You mean we can have an aircraft carrier? We can't have any aircraft? No. You can't. There you go. Gamer, they actually made, I don't know if they made a 109, but they made, and I've seen some photos of a Stuka that has folding wings to go onto the aircraft carrier. Yeah. But those were going to belong to the Luftwaffe. The Luftwaffe was going to have aircraft on the Navy aircraft carrier. So, yeah, the aircraft carrier can have aircraft on it that flies, but they're going to belong to the Luftwaffe. They're not going to belong to the Navy. Ostrakamp, one of the leading pilots in World War II. Well, not leading pilots, one of the leading squadron Luftflotte commanders is Ostrakamp. He's a good pilot, but he's old because he was a World War I naval pilot from World War I. So, yeah, he's too old to be a fighter pilot in World War II. I mean, he could still fly and very much did tactics and training and with a lot of the aces and all that stuff. But he came from the Navy, not from the Army, where Goering was an Army pilot in World War. So the Navy is not allowed to have aircraft. They cannot order naval bombers. They cannot do anything like this. So they got to beg, borrow, whatever, to ask Goering to, hey, can you get us a few more, flying boat squadrons or naval bomber squadrons or whatever it is. And Goering will, of course, say, yes, you can have some, but they're still under Goering's control. And two, the biggest need for bombers for Germany in World War II is really to attack ground targets, close air support, general theater, bombing. So it is more important to have more ground attack bombers than naval bombers because of the geography. If we were Japan and talking Japan, that'd be a different matter. Obviously, island nation and island hopping and island campaigns. Germany needs naval bombers and flying boats, but doesn't need them as bad as they need, or as many comparatively as they need of other things. But those two reasons keep naval aircraft down in Germany. So that, I think, maybe over-explains it, but I hope their regime is over. Yes, seeing the British Navy and French Navy together, it would be better if you took airplanes in the Navy. Yeah, I'm escaping one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space. Well, space has been corrupted by capitalism. SpaceX. And what's the Amazon guy's rocket, Jeff Bezos' rocket. Their space is now capitalism, and SpaceX is the organization that is sending the most tonnage into space, as far as I know, and of course all the satellites. So yes, space has been corrupted by capitalism. Too much competition brings backstabbing. Yes, there is definitely that. Global mode interface to the chat. Sorry, Alf Cannon here. I don't even know what you're talking about. Global mode chat. Sorry. Chat, who names is global mode? I'm not sure. Help, please. I'm not sure. Gamer war can't be won if he is not doing something. Yes. Hello, Jonathan Brink. How you doing? I think it's possible to buy land. Okay. Well, let me switch over to my Twitch view here for the moment. Let's see. Is there a... You go into video producer. Well, I'm not going to spend more time now looking for it. Let's see. Activity feed. Analytics. Is it under community? Yeah. I don't know if Arno wants to do some Googling. If you're still around, Arno, and if you want to look into Twitch global mode for interface or something, and if you want to maybe either now or some other time explain it to me, I'm sure you'd have to dig into it, Arno. I'm happy to hit a few buttons, but I really don't know where to go or look for that. So we're going to continue here. Sorry about that. I will try to, if I can, get that fixed, because I do like people from other parts of the world, and I'm glad somebody from Thailand is here. Yes. Can you look into I don't know if he's even still around, but Alf Cannon here, something about chat who have name is global mode for interface or something. I think it's like some translation mode or some such thing. Arno, for Twitch. You can just Google to find out the settings and where I should go or something. And if it's too complicated for me to do it now, if you think, or to tell me about it, you can figure it out for future streams at least. That would be great. Okay, we're going to have you come down here. We're going to have you go. Time's lost. One more. We've lost one. Transport here. You counterattack there. You join that attack. You support that attack. Okay. Integrate Epen, Malmedy, Luxembourg, and Alsace-Lorraine. Okay, gains core becomes... we're going to do this, yes. That hopefully will really push up... Oh, and we got the Condor. Right. Well... We also want to integrate West Prussian, which is these territories here. Again, we're having local resources and whatnot down that hopefully once we get these integrated, and that's why I'm doing them now, we will get much better resources from them. Okay, we just got the Condor. One of the better Condor. Well, I know it's a lot of head, but let's be better fighters. Well, I couldn't take that island, probably because the British showed up with some. But we can maybe take out all of these. Looking like we might not need the panzers over here, but I do want the panzers. Okay, well, we now have quite a lot of air power over here. We're controlling the skies. Let's go there. Oh, good. We got a bunch more military factories, including getting that done. So, naval bombers, Condors. Do we have any? I don't think we do have any Condors in production. But I am checking. I know we have these naval bombers. They're shorter range, but I think rather good. Oh, we do have some. Okay, good. We didn't need to start a new line then. Let's get two more going there, and then let's be a little more coordinated. Garrison equipment. Okay. Okay, we currently have that's 5 more we could put in. We're putting in all 5. Now let's look at. Well, currently we have. Just has that bug here. Okay. We're getting more rubber, so we don't need to bring in this rubber here. Free up back. Our synthetic rubber is doing reasonably well, I think. We've got more than enough steel and iron. Let's reduce down the Soviet iron first. More factories available for things like radar and whatnot. Okay. Well, we want to, well, just looking around here. Oh boy, a lot of stuff. Arctic warfare. We don't have any of those assault troops. Yeah. We can do this. Got grease of 2. Get organized. No, we don't need to embargo Bolivia. More factories are now available. Well, you know what we're going to do? More garrison equipment. You attack there. You support that attack. Looks like the British are invading up here, maybe. Corfu. Oh, good. Okay, so let's see. Did we lose anything? Oh, yeah, we lost some transport. Okay. Well, hopefully these guys are in good enough shape. So, well, just we'll just drive down here. No, 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 no. Drive down. Didn't mean to click on that. Oh, you know what? More garrison equipment. Right. Instruction. Okay, we can now do bigger, more radars. So let's Do that. Do that. Do that once you can. Be able to look out. Oh, it has a radar down here. Now interesting. Okay. Oh, it's easy. Do you think it adds worthy strategic depth and or realism for Hoy to have you specify we are going to focus more advanced mortars and load research? I talked at this at length earlier, ZZ, before you got here. I do think some of the stuff is they're going a little too deep. The short answer, without going through what I did before. So, if you want a more detailed answer after the stream, you can go back and watch the start of the stream, and you'll get a bunch of my opinions there. I mean, I mostly like what they're doing, but I think they're overdo it a bit on some of this. Now this had to be a naval invasion up here. But they came in at Thessaloniki. Okay. Even this, we're overstretching their supply. Italy's supply abilities into there. Okay, we have these guys. Okay, they're all up. Are they all over Greece? Yeah, looks like it. Oh, these guys are not. We need to specify as it. Oh, well, we've overstacked the airbase. Okay, you go up there. We'll fly there and go around. And the air unit goes up there. Okay, so that would get us less overstacked. Improve blood transfusions. That was this one. Merged arc welding. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to retake Tripoli. I'm going that attack. Good. Italy demands Vichy territory. Okay. The Italians have started to issue demands to Vichy France on the back of our victory. They are seeking a frontier zone of Savoy to strengthen Italy. However, we are the ones who will decide. I suppose they can have it. They need more than a few thousand dead. A strong ally leads to a strong Germany. Germany backs Italy's demand. Germany almost supports us. I guess this is what we'll do. I don't know. What was historical, I don't know what is best for us. Okay, we have forces in Vichy now because we went in and fought some British that were there, and now we're going back to Rommel is ill. Hello, Kevin. Again, I see you like to take your game, so you would probably enjoy across the Dnieper mod, his massive map of Ukraine, and there's so many titles. Well, cool. Yes, power shifts more quickly for some. What are we talking about? Gamer, your planes are obsolete. Well, I think you're referring to these fighters here. Yes, these are. Well, you can see here. This unit has a mix, though a majority of old Heinkels. We can see in logistics of what isn't flying now. Here we have 200 non-flying, and again, yes, these are a bunch of old Heinkels. Though we have a couple, well, one BF, 109F here. So we have some there. What are we talking about here? Do you think? Okay. We're trying to go through. Yes, I do like to go slow. Monday, I'm going to be playing War in the East 2, for Slytherine's channel. And that's a very in-depth and slow playing game. I'm just going to be playing one of the scenarios, not the whole grand campaign, but yeah. I do like those types of stuff. And let's look at here. Why are we... Oh, hell. Okay, let's try to avoid that. Try to avoid that. Try to avoid that. Way we send some supplies and come down from here to there, or other such places. Yeah, no, I'm just okay with that, with War in the East too. I'm not like a, very deep player of it. I know the basics. I do okay with it, but it is a bit harsh. Okay. To deal with. Oh, we got more production capabilities. Well, let's. Yeah, we've got. I'm sure not enough yet, but we could. See about other things, because we are still trying to build up garrison equipment. See, when all my production, I know it's not all, but when so much of my production goes to garrison equipment, really gets a bit frustrating. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to build, let's see, 2 more. I know only one's available, but 2 more factories for. Okay. Okay. We're driving towards. The Africa Corps is here. Well, now that they collapse, you rush on straight to there. You come through this way to there. I see all these guys with red supply, but we're hoping we can get this port. Okay, integrate West Prussia. Yes, we want to do this, so we'll get plus compliance on certain areas. Okay, change name from Danzig to Danzig, and it seems to be the same though. Gdynia to Danzig corridor, yes. Poznan to Posen, yeah, okay. Sounds good. Oh shit. Oh boy, we had that bug before down there. I think looking down there, we just had a crash. Okay, well, don't know what that was, whether it was me zooming out right in the middle of something, but a little time on it first, never really learned it. Yeah. I'm going to be playing. looked at it, the sort of with the DLC, the 1941 march to Leningrad, but it also includes, once you unlock it, the Finnish element up in the north, not just the German. So keep it a smallish scenario that's doable, easy to win, because hey, it's 1941 and not, well, maybe it's not easy to win in the sense of taking Leningrad. I don't know about that. But it is more, you know, oh God, what are we? I don't know. I'm gonna restart. Okay, it should be coming up now. Hopefully, we didn't lose too much time. I have it monthly saves. I know I have the. I'm invincible. That just told me. Tiberian missiles that invulnerable flying ships in real time. Okay. We were having a crash before. I think it may be something graphical. Oh, that should be up to date. The graphical interface mod, I don't know what's causing these crash. Hopefully something I can... Okay, last auto save in April 1st. I forget what the date was. We'll see. Sometimes zooming in and out may cause that if it was like trying to save or something. We'll see. Okay, we'll see how this works out. See if this is a proper save. I gotta go back to an earlier save. If it crashed while it was saving. Yes, we want to. Okay. Looks good. Now, if I come down here, will I get a crash? Not yet. We're going to have you, the motorized, this unit, rush to there. I'm also going to make a proper save gain, not just rely on autosave. We'll get out of that here, come over here, and okay, we'll bring this division down here. This comes this way. This comes this way. You push towards Athens, Corinth Canal down there. You guys attack across, and this is the Corinth Corral. Corinth Canal. Yes, gamer learned to speak. So this unit doesn't, they don't come and reinforce there. They came in, crash. Well, this may keep me out of North Africa. Well, maybe I should just, okay. There's some bug, and it's got to be a graphical display bug, just by the nature of the crash. Now, if somebody wants to, I don't know, get a time code for this stream, or later on time code in this video, if somebody wants to do it later on, I may go in and we got 4 hours saved. Remember to do it eventually once this is up, you know, as an independent episode. But you might want to let the Black Ice people know, you know, again with the time code, so they can see that it's crashing and see that it's North Africa and see that it is. Okay, now let's zoom out. Well, we got a... Well, here, let's try this. Let's come in real low level, but not over there. So it might be changing. It might be going from one view, you know, one sort of nope, there's the crash again. So, okay, zoomed in close is not good. Zoom in close, no good. I don't know if it's a model that isn't playing right or a flag or what the hell. And that might be something easy to fix if I got the right file and put it in there, or if it just, I think I'm playing with the latest graphical version. Of the, because there's two mods. There's the Black Ice mod, and then there's the Black Ice graphics one. Again, for those of you who don't know, there's a limit to the size of the mod on Steam or something. So for them to put it all in one package was too big. Okay, let's keep it at like this. Just keep it here. Okay. This looks like it's playable. Oh, can't see enough. But
Ausrücken!
it's something to do with down here, because when the British wasn't here, we weren't getting that. Okay.
Angetreten. Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
Let's stay zoomed out. No, that's not, well, whatever.
Bereit.
Yeah, we have civilian industry available. Okay. Well, we end up with both of those. I don't know. Let's increase that.
Angetreten. Achtung!
The United States. We don't want to make the United States upset with us.
Achtung!
When you're across, so we'll add our division to it. Zoom out a bit. Zoom out a bit more. Okay, well,
Befehle.
this is sort of the medium, look a little more playable.
Ausrücken. Achtung! Befehle.
Oh, just got that. So you come. No, 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 no. You no, no. You come.
Ausrücken.
I do like naval movement, but either we've cleared the area that was causing the problem, turned it green or something if it was problem, if it was British, or
Achtung!
if it was more of a problem of units, I don't know. Okay, let's see. We integrated West Prussia. That somewhere, I want to just identify because I like identifying where things were. No, oh, here. Right. Okay, so we've got that. Okay. April. Well, I think we're going to please Arno here and do tiger research. That will help us get tigers faster. Partially zoomed out, still good. Hoping the Italians are supplying. We're supplying there. Even though we have C-zone mode saying not to. Well, not absolutely not to, but okay. Well, since we're not having any operations here, let's move all of this here. Okay, improved Stukas, nice. Let's see if there's, well, yeah, those are almost a year. No, we're going to keep over here. But we are looking more and more at 42, but, we'll do improved HU-111s. I think we're going to move you guys. This. Guilds and colleges and excavation 3. Right. We've got lots and lots of political power. So, this slows down military construction speed. This does not. So we'll do that first. And all purpose. Okay. Well, one of the things we did was, what's Operation 25? In faction. Oh, we can do, we can go after without going after the, oh boy, okay. Well, that does change things. Okay. You guys go that way. You guys No, too much of it will go to Italian territory. Never mind. Never mind. I'm changing. Changing my mind.
Ausrücken!
You guys come up here. I did not know that this was going to be an option, so I did not
Ausrücken!
plan for this.
Angetreten!
Let's get Totenkopf over here.
Ausrücken! Ausrücken!
Leapstead Dart. Where's here?
Angetreten!
Basically Das Reich.
Ausrücken!
You guys come here.
Achtung! Bereit!
Main thing I'm looking. Well, there are some along the coast, but not major. So you guys come over here. And
Bereit!
yes, let's.
Achtung! Ausrücken!
Okay, we're going to move you that way. But that's not. I mean, that's going to be neat to get reform military commitment. But what I wanted to do was. Okay, develop oil fields, 7 civilian factories, adds 12 production in Western Ems. And this one here, 7 factories again here, but 12 in Friesland. So we're going to do this. So we're going to get oil and more oil and oil and more oil. So that was the big reason for pushing for excavation that we did. I mean, other things are useful too here, but let's now go for, well, that's construction. This excavation is, where's excavation? Excavation. Over here, I think. Yeah. Yes, this line. Okay, so we got to 341. 43, that's way far. That's going to be 2 years approximately. Well, probably not going to do that. More fuel per oil, more fuel gain from refineries. That looks worthy of doing. Yay, tigers. Yep, tigers are going to come a little quicker. Let's... What's the Yagan? This, okay, at war has deployed 100 small fighters in stockpile. Does not have. Grants fighter costs down, interception costs down, close air support cost up. Yeah, we can go for this. Fighters will just be a lot cheaper. I think we could do that. We're going to do Operation 25. As soon as we can get forces they're ready to go along the Yugoslav border. Okay, we've taken Athens. We've crossed over into the Peloponnese. Advanced oil plants. is this? Yeah, okay. Advanced oil plant. So more fuel gain, less or more coal input needing for per factory. Right. Okay, textile polymers, paratroop equipment will be cheaper. Yeah, field uniform costs down. Garrison maintenance equipment down. Well, that's good. Support equipment costs down. I like that. We'll do that next. Double differential transmissions. What's that? Let's... What do we need here? Okay, 20 millimeter flak. Infantry guns 2. 88. Okay. Well, 105. We're going to save this just in case we have another crash when I zoom in on. Yeah, you're right. Extreme finger. It does slow down some of the other production. But right now, I think I have more, and we can take a look at least in some modern equipment here. Okay, we have, or relatively, okay, so these are early casts, yeah, but we are getting a little bit of Ju-87s. They're, I'm not really using something interceptor class. We have old light bombers. We should probably get better light bombers in production. Medium bombers, which we do have, those are old. A lot of old there, true. Okay. We have 30. Oh, okay. We got Falkworth transport too. Did I do the wrong? Did Gamer mess up? Oh, these are Falkworth transport. I thought they were Falkworth Condor. It said Condor. I was thinking, okay, we're going to go down 1. We're going to come over here, and we're going to find not the transports, naval bombers. He's up here to get them. Make sure they get all the supplies that we need. Okay, so now we're doing Condor naval bomb. Oh, these will help us fly supplies, but yeah, I just want to. In my earlier playthroughs, when I used a lot of tactical bombers and close air supports, they were getting destroyed because I did not control the airspace that they were operating in. So I do get that they hurt the production. Oh, the British are here. Okay. But, and I am cognizant of that. The British are retreating out to there. I think at least I hope the Italians can handle that from here. Is there? Okay, well, let's overrun these guys since you're right next to it. You're there, and you're there. Okay. And these guys which have no supply. Alright. Yeah, we've been producing, or we are producing a lot of radars. which is nice, which will hopefully help us defend the Reich. But let's go back and produce more mill factories, and we have, even with the Condors, now in production, though slowly, of course, 2 a month. Well, since we are sort of boosted on that, and we need more aluminum and more steel. So, let's look. Rubber production, fuel production, and, well, aluminum production we can use another factory in. If we have enough bauxite and steel, we also have enough iron ore and coal to produce enough steel. Let's stop buying steel. Iron ore is doing really well, so let's stop that. And let's stop all of this. I think we're good still. Yeah, it looks like it. We have more than enough. That's like, we can slow down other plane production. We'll need to boost. Yeah. That's the idea of it, is to boost fighter production. And, well, we're not contesting anything over here, and we're probably not losing much. I mean, it doesn't look like we're fighting much over Germany or any place else here. So that's okay. We are doing some battling here with fighters. But I want to control the airspace and then bring in the fighters. Okay, you guys are going to come to here to be closer to the front. Okay, well, we've taken an island here. Let's see, can we? You support. I don't really want to get too many of you out there, but support that attack. You support that attack there. You can support it as well. Okay, Tiger Research. So, not King Tiger right now, but Tiger Research is encouraged. Well, I think what we're going to do next Well, we're going to take Greece out soon, and I can see about doing some of this Balkan dominance. So I think we're going to see about going Weserbung and or go after Yugoslavia. But that is going to be in the next episode. I want to thank Tim, Strongarm, Niagro, Timothy, Sir Toyjet, Gary, Garrett, Marcus, Folk, and of course the great Hoffmanator for support over on Patreon. But all I ask you guys to do is lick the like button. It's tasty. And no, I don't want to load. I want to save. subscribe if you're new around here, and post a comment. It really does help the algorithm. So thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow. I say we because I'm hoping Extreme Fingerer maybe, and Arno and others will be playing War Thunder with me. And like I say, at about 10 a.m. my time, I think 6 p.m. British time, I should be playing War in the East 2 over on Slytherin's Twitch channel. So you might want to join me for that. And of course, I'll be back live next weekend. And check out my videos on YouTube just to keep yourself entertained in the meantime. So thanks, everyone. See you next time for more, yes, more Hearts of Iron. So you guys all have a good day or evening. See you guys later. Thanks so much, everyone.